the field. What do you guys think of the battle between, we'll call it a four-way battle, Max, Hamilton, in order, obviously. Max the pole position, Hamilton second, Bottas third, and then Perez fourth. What did you guys think of that battle on Saturday?
Well, I mean, what do we see? We saw the cream of the crop, obviously, is Hamilton and Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. I don't know. It seemed like Mercedes were struggling. It's almost like a carbon copy of what happened in Baku. They were struggling at the beginning of the sessions, including practice, and then they kind of came. They came on, and to see Lewis Hamilton being happy with P2 was strange because obviously he's always fighting for the top. But it seems like they're genuinely struggling, and you see that in their, the radio and the messages, especially during practice. But they get it together, and there's two decent drivers too. So, I mean, obviously you have the GOAT Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
and but the Red Bull was quicker this weekend too.
So it's kind of almost like Mercedes never expected the jump that Red Bull has done, since last year.
I wouldn't say that. I think Red Bull has shown that they're just as quick. I don't know. I mean, I think that they're just genuinely struggling, man. I think Red Bull has put their pressure on them.
I think that somebody was talking, I forget who it was, that Mercedes had stopped development for a period on this car, and that maybe that's what's showing. Because you see that the Red Bull car is getting better almost every race. We saw Verstappen ahead of Hamilton by more than 0.2 of a second. We saw Bottas out-qualify Perez by 0.07 of a second. And we said earlier that Perez made a couple of mistakes on that last lap.
Right. He could have easily
been second. Locked out that front row.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Perez will always struggle to make that perfect lap in qualifying.
But I find that so
just
hard.
Like he always does. Remember, because Perez is tough.
He's not a very good qualifier.
Yes.
Yeah.
To lay down like that perfect lap to qualify, he's very tough to do.
I find it hard to believe that Mercedes is just gonna have a full stop on development, especially when they're in the hunt for the championship this year. They're just do you really think that they're just gonna let Red Bull just get ahead of them?
No, I think that they paused it. I think that there's a couple of issues that came together, right? So we talked earlier, you mentioned earlier the low rake, high rake concept. We saw that this year's aero rules favor much more the high rake concept. So they had to essentially transform their car from what that was to what they needed to get to. Yeah. So that allows Red Bull to, while Mercedes is trying to catch up, Red Bull is getting ahead in development in that sense. We, as evidence to that, we saw a lot of commentary about the chassis over the weekend.
Yeah, there was a radio chatter that, Hamilton said that there's something wrong with this car. That they have to check it. So I think they switch up the chassis. I think they have like 5 chassis in circulation. So he changed up the chassis.
They get a Bottas chassis.
Yeah, well,
like
I mean, I don't think it's like assigned to them. I think whatever car has it has it. So it's just like it's like they have certain chassis in circulation that if one goes wrong, they just put another one on and outfit it with all the arrow and all of that stuff. Yeah, so I don't think I don't know. I mean, it's weird to see Mercedes in this position because they always seem to be on top of things, and every time the past few races they've come in on the back foot, and they're happy. They're happy. I mean, they're surprised if they're first place, and they're happy to be in P2, which is not normal for them.
The funny thing is that their struggles during practice and stuff like that, the other teams, especially Red Bull, takes it as a sandbag from them. Like, they're just sandbagging. They have the power because
because they've done it before. Yeah. And the thing is that you come in and it seems like they're struggling, and then all of a sudden they're P2, P3, and at some points they're they're running the fastest lap. until Max comes in and just.
But obviously, you're not expecting them to
bangs
be
out an awesome lap.
You expecting them to be even behind past the Red Bulls? Behind like Ferrari or whatever? No, they're not struggling that bad.
No,
obviously
they're not. I mean,
they're neck to neck right now with Red Bull.
Right now, they're the class of the field as far as you can see how far they are ahead of the Ferraris and the McLarens. I mean, the battle is the top two. It's just them.
The top two teams.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we're just used to seeing Mercedes
running with it.
At the top. They are always the hunted, and this year they're the hunters. So, I mean, it's just weird to see that, and then I think I'm just coming to grips with that. Yeah, they're genuinely struggling.
Well, I was expecting this track to show Mercedes taking that leap because more traditional tracks are coming and stuff like that, but that didn't happen this weekend. So I was like, uh oh.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't race. It wasn't. I'll tell you what, they had less struggles this weekend than they did in Baku or Monaco. It seems like they were more on the back foot in Monaco and Baku than they were here. So,
right.
But Monaco's not a track that favors Mercedes.
Never. They've always thrown that away. But how many?
They've never been great at street tracks. I think the only street track why we were surprised in Baku, is because that's a really high speed street track and
but
they have that long straight. But I mean,
that affects the temperature of the tires.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's unique to this year. But this is why we were surprised, because we all thought that they were going to be very good in Baku, and we thought that we were going to be really good here. And they were good in the Castilla. They weren't bad. It was just that Red Bulls has a better car this year.
What is this Castilla? That's a town?
Paul Ricard.
Yeah,
no, but that's a town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just thinking about we know from whatever. We'll get to it in the preview. Hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there.